Is this it? This place is so fucking difficult to navigate. The old claw-footed bathtub hadn't been cleaned nearly enough. Still, it would probably do. For what you're about to do, I'm sure it's fine. Happy Halloween, you ghouls! I am the Scarecrow. Welcome to our playthrough of a spooky little game called Home. It's in the old pixelated style, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna make it any less spooky. Let's check it out. I guess I got to find my way through the woods now. Damn it all. It's this one, right? Trampled in the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. Wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take it? Well, duh. I pocketed the credit card and hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Was that there before? Alright, so I think we have two paths now to choose from. This one and that one. Oh yeah, we did this already. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny. Hey, Mo! Oh, fuck you. No more fucking paths, for Christ's sake. No, 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 no. Don't look. No, no. Well, I'm looking anyway, goddammit. Kill me if you don't like it. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. Oh, goody. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. Should be a board here. There was a damp-smelling plank leaning against the stall door. I might have been able to cross the river with it. Did I take it? Well, yeah. I managed to carry the plank under my arm so it didn't get in the way. How convenient. How nice of them to explain that situation right there. Ah, fuck. Which one did I come in through? This one? Nope. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. Oh, so we just went around, eh? I finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Alright, well then, let's see what's across the water then. A reasonable facsimile thereof. We need to find a credit card though, don't we? Why did my thing just vibrate? That's weird. My controller just vibrated for some reason. There was some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait! There was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Well, duh. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made any sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel? Her name was last on the list. Had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out. But these marks looked older and more faded. Who were all these names? I could only think about how much I needed to get home to make sure Rachel was okay. Well, you know. Alright, let's see. Ah, shit. Where was the pond? Let's see if this plank works. A picnic type table? The plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge, but I wasn't sure it would hold. Well, we're gonna find out now. Oh, wow. That ended abruptly. I thought for sure he fucking fell in. The hell is that? A train monster? And my goddamn controller keeps vibrating like something's nearby. 2 bodies, 2 young women, were half dug into a hasty shallow grave between the trees. The younger looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserved better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? Yes. Tried to cover them with a bit more and close the younger woman's eyes. I fashioned a crude marker. Wasn't sure why, but I felt I had to do something. Girls weren't carrying IDs, so I couldn't determine the names. I only hoped that whoever had done this had done it quickly. I wondered now if they had a phone or something at their campsite. Maybe I could call for help. Well, you didn't want to dig through their shit. Really? That's what I came here for? You suck. Did I cross back over? Well, yeah. What are you gonna do? Did live here? A terrible tragedy. Indubitably. Alright, so maybe I can find my way back to the campsite and see what they're peddling. But that's not it. Okay. I mean, you didn't want to go through this shit before, but... The inside of the tent was suffocating. Well, then open it up. Alright. Olivia? Daphne? Okay. You wanted to go through this shit and see if they had a cell phone. What the fuck? Alright, well, that's that, I guess. I don't know that I found anything else. Or that's not it. So I gotta find my ID somewhere. Alright, cool. Where, oh where has my little dog gone? Where, oh where is the exit? Aha! I have found it. Rachel! The forest started to thin out a bit, and through the trees I could make out parts of the town beyond, and the first hints of light. The mysteries of that forest were behind me, but I could still feel them on my neck, like a warm breath. Those girls I had found. Someone had taken them from their campsite and murdered them. Was it the same person who had left that odd notebook? I was even more eager to get somewhere safe, and find a way to reach Rachel. Alright, I guess we'll go through this door. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory I had worked as a machinist for all those years. I thought you just moved. Make up your mind. The plant had closed almost 3 years now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Yeah, sure. Maybe it was that night creature stalking me. You want to bob through the hole in the fence and check out this, what is it, the bathroom? Oh, this is the factory. La fattoria. My locker. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. What is this, Resident Evil? Old work clothes had been picked through and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. What is this now? And another door. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, sneaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear and cobwebs had collected in the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. It didn't look... Yeah, alright. You just said that. Shit. So I got 2 or 3... The door is locked tight. Seemed to be connected to the power box. Alright, cool. We have a goal. So I got this door, this set of stairs... I got the hole in the fence, and I got this door. The door is also locked. There was a little electronic box under the handle. The sign was pasted to the front that read, "Closed for repairs." Alright, maybe I don't. Doop, doop. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Is this we're gonna find Freddy Krueger in here? Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Odd. It seemed like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. They weren't as dusty as the rest of it. Take a swig. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. It was you! You're the murderer! Hey, a switch. A power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Sure. Did I try it again? Yeah. Hey, look, it's green. Oh, and it hums, like, annoyingly. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. That woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened. Was she dead? Yes, I pushed it. That one's running too. Yay. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. Man, kiss my ass. Alright, can't get through that door, so I guess we're going upstairs some more. Chesamo barbecue. Alright, there's a door. There's a locker I can't get in. I swear, this is Resident Evil. The door had been hastily boarded up. It looks painstakingly boarded up to me. Yeah. Another open locker. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked here. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. Utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Yes, sir. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools. Well, that shit happens, I guess. Yes, I took it. I already said I took it. What? The locker was complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Nice. I slipped a key card into my butt crack. From the musty smell, I assumed no one had used this locker for a long time. You mean like the rest of the place? Didn't I already do 4? Uh-oh. Oh, these gotta work in conjunction, huh? Crap. So these two work together. Alright, and this one's probably gonna go back up as some shit. There we go. Coolie! Alright, so now the question is, do we go to that door? Do we open the clawed, boarded up door first? The keycard one, or the one that's electrically sealed now? Fuck it. We're here, let's do it. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor. Why the fuck would you do that? It's another weapon. And a tool at that. This was my locker. Okay, Will Shatner. There, in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. Oh yeah, it's totally him. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wonder if that man in the house had something to do with this. He shared a lot of alcohol at his place. Yeah, well, you know, if the bottles weren't empty, then he really wasn't that big a drinker. You don't have mostly closed and sealed bottles of booze at your place if you're a heavy drinker. So I guess we'll do the key card door next. That's where we be. The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Yeah. I slid the card through the old reader and turned the handle. What is this? There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Not right now. If it was too ticking to jump down that broken ladder before, why do it now? There had to be another way. Well, let's go check out that other door that I unlocked. Oh, wow. It locked itself, you piece of shit. Well, I guess I had no fucking choice now. Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. Now you're really gonna limp, huh? There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read it? Yeah. Most of the letter was violently scratched out, with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was need to. Just don't. Drinking. Need. Norman. Who was Norman writing to? Your grandma. That room at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles, was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. Who went up there and used that room? As I exited the factory, I didn't recognize where I was going. My head ached terribly and my leg was a mess. Wait, I didn't want to exit the factory. I wanted to check out that other door. Fuck. Choices, I guess, huh? Well, I done fucked up, so I didn't scope out what was through that hole in the fence. You piece of shit. So that's 2 doors I didn't scope out. Crapola! Alrighty. Well, I guess we have no choice but to press on. Bow. Oh, was this the hole in the fence? Did that lead back to the Daily Kebab? What the hell? This is different. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card and now this. I tucked the card in my wallet next to my credit card. Did somebody steal this from me? I wonder why they would have stashed it there. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Yep, sure does. The fence was jammed shut. There was no reason to go back there anyway. Ah, you fucker. So that's another way I could have... Damn it. I thought that was the factory door and I was going around in circles. So that's 3 spots I missed now. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. I needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Oh, damn it. Sometimes it says something different. And I can't skip messages, which I fucking hate. Oh, the air conditioner. Oh, it's a TV. Please shut the... Oh my god, Norman! The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. Turn it off! Couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. Don't mind me, dude. Oh no! I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. Not even in it? Jesus. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think any more about what was going on. Quickly, I closed Norman's eyes. With my fist! Crap. I need to get away from that fucking noisy ass TV. What's over here? A coat. Despite the shock of already finding Norman in that state, seeing this turned my stomach just as much. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. They were having an affair. What was it doing there? Was she okay? Were you soft? Something dark stained my sleeve. The sleeve. My stomach only tightened further. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots in the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? Sure, let's try it. Carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Really? Norman, what were you doing with all these? Alright, I guess that's it, huh? That was the sole purpose for that gun? You got rid of the hammer, you got rid of the gun. Seriously, you got a knife to defend yourself. You gonna toss that too? See you, buddy. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups were still there in the wood. Yeah, exactly, because he and Rachel were doing a Humpty dance. Dope. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least I didn't remember ever doing so. This guy's soft. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? You betcha. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. There were takeout containers and food scraps. Looked like Norman was eating for 2. My God. Really? Do you have enough IQ to fucking tie your shoelaces, dude? So I'm guessing the hairpin's gonna get me the fuck out of here. I'm gonna fucking smash that TV because it's annoying as fucking hell. I need to check that place out, see if I could find Norman and get help. Yeah, well, I guess we're not going out that way. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. I had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. Well, that seems unnecessary. If you got the cash, why go all the trouble to go upstairs and put one between his eyes? The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Well, now's a good time to fucking dip into the chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. The hell you say? Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. Well, grab one before they all disappear. Before they're out of stock. Norman was dead, but I had no idea why. Was he involved in all this somehow? Or was he just another victim? The gun I had found only seemed to complicate matters. It was such a relief to finally be rid of it. Home wasn't far off now, even though the rain was relentless. I had to keep going. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. Was it the left gate? Okay, seriously, what the fuck? That's a lot of gates. Okay, 3 more gates. Do I start at this end or the other end? I already missed 3 entrances. I don't know what that's gonna mean. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. God damn it. I'm breaking into somebody else's house. This must be the house. That door only led me back. I had to find my house. You fucker. I knew that was gonna happen. The neighbor's local post box. The letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? You betcha. There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter inside. It read, "Stay away, she's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. Dude, it's you! You snapped and lost your shit. And started fucking killing everybody. Who wants to place bets? I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside, knowing that I would find her corpse slumped over the kitchen counter, with a butcher knife sticking out of the back of her skull. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked a light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or some time before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. That's because you wiped up all the blood. There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Yes, I opened it. I ripped the bill open. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? Why is the chair sideways? This didn't make any sense. Okay, so we got two doors and an upstairs. Door to the basement was locked. Where did I put that damn key? It's gonna be the same thing. The front door was also locked from the inside. How do you do that? I've never had a place where the front door could only be unlocked on the inside with a key. I couldn't go out though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. Oh, she's here, alright. I bet she's in the basement. That's why you tried to bury her in the fucking... The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Really? That seems weird. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got back part of my life. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Because you found out she was banging somebody else. Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then, it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. We're gonna go upstairs. To the attic. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I look more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. What the fuck? One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. Alright, seriously? Why is there a suitcase on the bed? Yeah, I said that. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from the trip we took out west. Yes, I opened the suitcase. I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase contents. Inside were a few days' worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket? I checked the date and time. It matched the receipt I found back in those horrible sewers. What was this? Rachel? Who are you running away with? Norman, you dope! This wasn't getting me anywhere. Yeah, it kinda is, actually. Oh. He's losing his fucking mind. A busted mirror. A hallway mirror had been smashed, pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. Oh, two more doors, eh? Need to get to the basement. Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. That old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. I expected to find a pool of blood in the tub or some shit. The outside of it looked like it had bloody fingerprint streaks on it. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. I pocketed the key. Alright, to the basement. The laptop was warm and had been running for a while. Very weird. I wonder if he threw himself off of the water tower after he'd killed the other two. Like, that's it, I can't take it anymore kind of thing. I unlocked the basement door and threw myself down the stairs. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. Well, put them up. It's about time. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Yes, take the key. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. The padlock to the shackles in the basement. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. That's pretty much everybody. I put this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. Hadn't finished yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. Might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Really? Fuck you. I looked through this entire place. So if there's anything else, I don't know where the fuck it is. Was there was there another room or whatever I couldn't get into? Or a box I needed to unlock in the place? Nobody's gonna walk away from this now. Now? Alright, so we need to... Front door was locked. Okay. Alright, so we have a key, but we don't know what the fuck it unlocks. Oh, okay. Cool. The spare room, I guess. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? No, somebody tried to break out. A crowbar! Nice, I got a crowbar on the floor. I definitely need the crowbar. I lifted the heavy crowbar. Appreciated its weight. Sure? How does one do that? I appreciate you. Crowbar. Alright, let's tear down that wall. Yes, we broke through. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. What was it? Was Rachel down there? Oh, yes, she was. And that's what that smell is. The hell is that on the wall? Don't look, or is that don't cook? Either way. What's with those? Look like sigils on the wall. Like he cast a spell or some shit. This is it. This is where it all ends. Where it all fucking goes sideways. Don't even know this motherfucker's name. Do we? I don't remember. A filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within. But I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all the searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel. Aha! Oh wow. So I pretty much get to choose the ending here. Oh no. My hands trembled as I pulled back the layers of cloth. There at the center, under all the dirt and mess, was my beloved Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn, and even though all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened, Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Looks to me like you're opening your eyes. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. No matter what, I needed some kind of escape. It was my wallet, with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff, or someone else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? You lost more than that? You lost your goddamn mind, fool. There, that was decided. Okay. No matter what, I needed to find some kind of escape. Within the few broken pieces that remained of the mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. He's a vampire! Perhaps I would never know how that mirror came to be broken. Was it by Rachel's assailant or by Rachel herself? The thought lingered and would haunt me forever. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through the door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No, somebody else was using that locker room. But who? You dope! I had made up my mind. So these are all the clues to piece the shit together, I guess? The laptop had finally run out of power. How long it had been left running? The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. The quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. I still loved that old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. Rachel loved this part of the house. A woman? In the bathtub? What the hell you say? Oh, safe. Was that before? My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. I used a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I left it somewhere. Really? How did you not? I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Okay, those poor girls. Were they victims of the same person who had killed Rachel? I wonder what happened to the other names on that list. Or the ones scratched out on that desk in those wet tunnels. The man in that house, was he responsible? When I woke up, I had found him dead already. If I could find the code for the safe, maybe I could still open it. Alrighty. Well, I guess let's try and find that. Although, it seems like we're wrapping the shit up here. We found Rachel, and the evidence kind of points to this motherfucker being the culprit. It was a letter I had taken from the post box. Who had it out for Norman? Who sent him that letter? It must have been someone from the neighborhood, or at least somebody wanted it to look that way. I wasn't so sure what to think. Did he murder Rachel? I don't think so. No way. Norman had ended up dead himself. Whoever sent that threatening letter must have gotten to it. But who the hell was it? A fucking mystery. Damn this town. We only want a nice place to settle, not this madness. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for these stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back to the basement. Not yet. I want to find that fucking safe code. The mail still sat there heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? Seemed like that... Oh, you fuckers. The mail had been there for a while. No shit. You said that already. Pick the fucking stuff up, you fool. There would be no more dinners here. No more chit-chat over breakfast. At least not for us. I couldn't recall when I'd last ate, but I wasn't hungry in the least. That's because you were eating people now. You must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. This is it. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Sure. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. I needed to put an end to the situation one way or another. Okay. Great, thanks. I fucking came to the basement for a knife, and that was it. Now what the fuck? I wonder where the safe code is. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare, but what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Sure. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plan had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help. Not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night unearthed terrible truth, but I knew it was the final act of long-staring horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. Even the man I had found in that old place was a mystery. Why was he dead, or who had done it to him, was not something I could even begin to understand. Or why, for that matter, was I in that damn room in the first place? After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought of that, I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest and even Norman's place. Well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought that would cover my tracks so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. Even more troubling were those poor girls I had found in those terrible woods, half hidden in the shallow grave. The secret death seemed like the ultimate defiling. If I hadn't found them, would anyone have done so? Would they have even been missed? I vaguely recalled the desk I had seen in those tunnels, the names etched there. Someone had killed those girls. Was it that man? Whatever had happened, I knew at least that Norman wasn't the one who kept going back to the factory. I hoped it meant that he had nothing to do with that guard's violent end. But who had been rooting through those lockers? Or drinking in that boarded-up room? After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But after I found there were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Damn, Norman, how did you get mixed up in all this? I know you weren't perfect, man. None of us are, but you didn't deserve this. Maybe whoever had done you in was responsible for the other murders that happened in that town. At the very least, I was convinced you and Rachel were killed by the same person. Me too. I sincerely hoped you would find some peace, my friend. I knew I never would. When I had marched through the rain toward home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess, in a way, it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disoriented as when I had sleepwalked. To think of it now. Our house used to feel so lively, so warm. But coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought I had up to that point was suddenly a possibility. But nothing could have prepared me. My wife dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery to me, one that would haunt me forever unless I did something about it. What solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might never know why. As I swung open the door and stepped out in the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife, just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving under my feet. I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. Trip and fall on a knife. Well, I thought it would be a short game, but I didn't think it would be that short. Interesting. The only problem is they didn't really confirm anything. It was all like up in the air. I don't know, maybe I made the wrong choices when I was going through the shit, in the apartment after finding the dead body. I get the impression that there's more than one ending to this. I mean, we can easily check out the trophies to find out if that's true. My home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. The end. So yeah, I can play through again and see if we can find the alternate endings, and I'll tack them on. So it looks like... Okay, so we already got one of the endings, and it looks like there's one for each of the weapons here. So let's try this out and see. If I wanted to end it, I could do it. I could do it with that gun. Did I pick it up again? It was like carrying an anvil, but I wouldn't let it go. Not again. Okay, so now I just gotta figure out where the hell you going to? This is I think it's the kitchen. Is it the attic? I should have grabbed the knife first because I knew... Oh no, it's the bathroom. Okay. It's the bathroom in the attic, according to the trophies. Now I got to go find a bathroom. That's not it. Maybe it's on the second floor? Nah, I don't know. I get a feeling it's on this floor. Aha, it's the bathroom. I used to tell myself that Rachel was the one who wanted to keep the tub. When was the last time I showered? I smelled awful. Okay, well, where the hell? In the dirty, faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. There was only one set of toiletries by the sink. Huh, that's weird. Okay, so I was incorrect. You actually used the gun in the kitchen. I thought it was kind of odd, because usually you do use a knife in a tub. So I've heard. I sat down on a table and stared at the gun in my hand. It didn't seem so heavy this time. You showed me the truth. I wasn't sure there was any reason to keep on going. So what do you think? Shouldn't I just end this misery? Sure. We already ended it the other way. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. I suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. It would have spared me a lot of pain. For starters, the man I had found in that old place. Who killed him? And why was I even there? And what was hidden within those sewers I had found? The tunnel to the man's house obviously led there, but was there something I missed? Was I so busy worrying about Rachel that I was blind? The forest especially was a difficult maze, and I would rest easier if I never saw its like again. The old factory used to be a haven of sorts. But when I saw it tonight, it was anything but. Those faded walls, those long dead sounds, they had stirred something in the back of my mind, but I wasn't sure what. I had to catch my breath to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's where the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. There were so many things to consider at Norman's place, and I was so confused. What the hell was going on? But as painful as all of that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end of this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. The silence in the house, when I had first stepped through the kitchen door, that should have been my first clue. To think that I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Did you know even before the end? Did you mock me when you finally showed me the truth? You don't know what it's like to have everything ripped away from you in a heartbeat. How could I possibly go on not knowing what I do? Now knowing what I do. Without Rachel, even the thought of Rachel, I was truly lost. The gun was heavy but felt right, felt correct in my hand as I sat at that table. Rachel was dead, you know, and you killed her. She was real enough to me before you came along. Was that? Who? But I guess this is what has to happen. After all, you're the one calling the shots around here. Me? Blam! Well, alrighty then. I got 2 trophies for that one. Alright, so now we're gonna skip ahead and we're gonna do the next ending. Stick around. Okay, so this should be the 3rd and final ending. I'm gonna get the Kniffy. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? You betcha. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. Now to stab people. Alright, so this we go to the bathroom with. So yeah, this should be the final ending. Final different ending. Really? Where the hell's the bathroom? Is this it? This place is so fucking difficult to navigate. The old claw-footed bathtub hadn't been cleaned nearly enough. Still, it would probably do. For what you're about to do, I'm sure it's fine. You showed me the truth. I wasn't sure there was any reason to keep on going. So what do you think? Shouldn't I just end this misery? End my misery, Jesus. Since I had arrived in town, things have been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. Oh, this is the same shit that he just said for the other thing. So I'll skip ahead to this. I'll let you know if anything changes. I drew a warm bath in the bathtub. I drew a warm bath in the old tub and undressed. I wonder how many times I'd done this before and thought about doing what we're about to do now. No, don't look away. It's actually really easy, really peaceful. See, I just keep my arms in the water as I make the cuts. It stings, but I can't really feel anything after that. Really, I'm just getting tired now. I have to thank you. This hasn't been easy. But you were right. This was the only way. Fucked up. I'm not sure which is the best ending, to be sure. I mean, to be honest. That's what I meant to say. So these two, where he offs himself. I mean, argument could be made that there's no question, but the first ending, he just walked off into oblivion. We have no idea if he lived there either. So, the story was a bit creepy. It's kind of like a whodunit kind of deal. Oh my god, a dead body, man. And this guy remembers nothing. It seems to me, and you can make your own conclusions. I haven't read anything about this game, only played through it. But it seems to me that he killed all those people himself. And when he found out, I think Rachel was having an affair with Norman, especially when our character checked out. In every sense of the word. Except physically, I suppose. But he, what was missing is like a unique horror adventure, it says here as a subtitle. It was missing the kind of horror aspect. There weren't any, it was just loneliness really for this guy. There wasn't anything chasing him. There was nothing, no kind of fear. We're just wandering around aimlessly, almost going to where we can go. And, I mean, it's a good little game. I'm not sorry I played it, but it needed a little bit more of a horror aspect of it, to it. Any simplest thing, claw marks. We found this dead body with, part of it has been eaten or something like that. And you wonder what it is. And then at the very end, you could do something that involved it. And you kept guessing the entire time. But, it was somewhat creepy, but I think it could have been or could be improved upon slightly. At least as a horror adventure game. As a kind of like, aimless thriller, it would meet its mark. But that's all for this playthrough. Ghouls and Goblins, thanks everybody for joining. And of course, I'll see you in the next set of videos.